All right, we're going to be looking at the rest of the results from over the weekend. So maybe not the biggest games. I mean, we've already made a coverage on the Irish Argentina game, if you want to see that. Also, the All Blacks versus France game, which was the best game of the weekend, in my opinion. And then South Africa versus England, of course, at Twickenham. And all of them were good games. I mean, that Argentina-Ireland game was amazing. And Argentina really looked like the better team. They didn't get the result. France, New Zealand, I mean, game of quarters. I mean, one team on top, one team under, up, down, up, down, up, down. And then South Africa and England, a game that could have gone either way. It really could have. Only South Africa pulling away at the end, but still allowing England to be camped in their 22 for pretty much seeming the last 10 minutes. Well, look at the world rankings real quick, and then we'll go through those results. So as you can see, at the top is South Africa, clear by 2 points. Ireland in at second. New Zealand in at third. France in at fourth. Argentina fifth. Scotland sixth. And that could change maybe this weekend. I mean, if Scotland lose to Australia, then Australia will actually overtake Scotland, and England will overtake Scotland as well if they beat Japan, which we obviously are kind of expecting a pretty big win. And then Fiji as well, close to there, and Italy, who just scraped through in their game. So we'll go through these games real quick, and you let me know what you think about the results. I mean, if you are from one of those countries, did you watch the game? Let me know what you think leading up to the next World Cup. So obviously Australia, Wales, 19-13 to Australia. They got the 20-minute red card as well. You can see possession, Australia controlling it. I mean, Tom Wright just running riot, really, against the Welsh poor defense. The Welsh beat up. The first half, they kind of made that comeback. They were down big and then kind of brought it back just on halftime to only a 6-point deficit. And then Australia pulled away. They really, it's as if obviously Wales don't really have the cattle at the moment. They're not being able to play 80 minutes. They're only being able to play 60 minutes, 50 minutes at a kind of a competitive level. And then they just drop off after that. So Australia really, dropped through. So 3 tries for Matt Faisler, which is crazy. Nick Frost got a try. Len Ikitau with a great try. And Tom Wright with a hat-trick. Aaron Wainwright and Ben Thomas for Wales. So Principality Stadium, next game will be there again against South Africa. So it doesn't get any easier. And Australia go up to Scotland. Now, talking about that game, so Scotland played at Murrayfield, but they played their B team, to be honest, and they were leading 33-7 against Portugal at half time, and then the full score was 59-21 to Scotland, obviously. 52% possession, so not a big difference. Try scorers Josh Bayliss, Jamie Doby, Stafford McDowell, Darcy Graham, Will Hurd, Aaron Reid, and Jamie Batty. Aaron Reid getting a double for Scotland, and then for Portugal, Rafaele Storti, Luka Bejic, and Samuel Marquez. Yeah, so I mean, I watched it. It was actually a very interesting game to watch. Back and forth as the Portuguese play. They play a very open style, and the Scots made the good changes. They really used their pace on the wings, so it was an entertaining game. I mean, whoever rocked up there, they would not have been disappointed watching the game live. Hopefully the tickets weren't too expensive, because I know international rugby, they really do just put the price up. I mean, I was looking at getting British and Irish Lions tickets here in Australia for next year. They're already sold out, by the way, 6 months ago. But the cheapest tickets we could find was, right up the top in like the 100-seater stadium in Melbourne, for example. Right at the back, right at the top. And the tickets were going for about 800 Australian dollars. So what's that, £400? Nearly 500 euros sort of thing. So just ridiculously priced. And then this is the game I was really looking forward to as well. I mean, I've been saying it for a long time. They should have made it to 7 Nations a while ago, or they should have introduced a relegation/promotion thing where whoever finishes bottom of the 6 Nations play off against the winner of the European Championship. And even if it's a home and away game and then goes off points difference or whatever it might be. But as you can see, Georgia would not disappoint. Because Italy, they're not a pushover. They drew with France last year. They also beat the English. So really, they are a team who's not a pushover in the Six Nations anymore. From time to time, I mean, some years they really are, but some years they're not. And Georgia just losing by 3 points, and Georgia were up actually 17 points to 6 at halftime, and they didn't score a point in the whole second half. So Italy pulling through. I mean, they had possession 68% to 32. I mean, Italy were the better team by far. I'll be honest. They were the better team. They should have probably won by more, but the Georgians executed what they needed to in the first half, and second half they didn't. So that's the difference right there. Try scorers for Italy, Alessandro Fusco, and then the try scorers for Georgia, Vasil Labandzize, Akaki Tabutsatse. So many penalties here. So penalty try as well, and 2 penalties for Italy. Yeah, played in Genova, home game for the Italians, and just winning, is it a sign that where Italy's going, or is it a sign that, Georgia's getting stronger? I guess time will tell. Then the next game was Japan-Uruguay, and this was played in France at a neutral destination. They obviously don't have the halftime score there, but Japan winning 36-20. They always looked in control. Japan didn't play their top team either. They rested quite a lot of players. So I think about 6 or 7 or something along those lines. Where, I always hope Uruguay is going to get stronger and stronger and stronger as it goes ahead. But if anything, the other countries are kind of catching them at the moment. So like Chile and Brazil, they're kind of really gaining on Uruguay. So I'm hoping, they can get stronger again down there in South America. Next one here is Fiji versus Spain. This was a great game. So you can see their halftime score was 10-7 to Spain. Spain are actually up. When I was watching it, I think they were up 19 points to 7 at one point. Something around about there. I think, something along those lines. I remember they were up quite big. 19-7, and then suddenly Fiji got like a full field try, and then they got another long range try, and suddenly it was, pretty much 19 all. And then before you know it, another 2 quick tries by Fiji. You can see here, Sireli Makala, Samuel Matavesi, Waisia Nayakalevu, Setu Tura Ngagoke, Ponipate Loganimi. I can't even talk right now. Loganimasi. Sorry for the bad pronunciations. I'm trying, but and Caleb Muntz, 4 from 5 for his conversions, and the Spanish were 4 penalty goals and a penalty try as well. And that's what led to the Fijian yellow card as well. Spain got a yellow card as well, one of them for a high tackle, which was a 50-50 again, because the Fiji guy caught the ball and he was like, pretty much hip height. So the Spanish guy was kind of aiming where the hips would be, but he smacked the guy in the face. So there was mitigation. It was a yellow card. And after the review, it stayed a yellow card. But it showed that Spain can kind of knock it with the big boys. As I said earlier this year as well, they played against Samoa in Samoa and only lost by about 3 or 8 points. They beat Tonga in Tonga as well. So, I mean, these smaller nations are now kind of making gains, right? And unfortunately, things are not looking good for Tonga at the moment. When I talk to my Tongan friends who watch rugby, they all say because it's there's a lot of corruption in the international Tongan team when it comes to, the higher ups, the people who, do all the clerical work, do all the management, all that type of stuff. They say the money's not making it down into the communities, into the grassroots level, right? It's just not making it there, and it's destroyed it. And rugby league is also becoming stronger in Tonga because, there's more and more push for that international sport. A lot of them are being able to be, pretty much be born in a different country, and then also never have played inside actual Tonga, but they'll be able to still play for them even though they play for another state. So they can play for an Australian state, represent them, but they can still play for Tonga, which just allows more players to play from pretty much at the end of the day. So Tonga's losing players, they're losing funding. It's not looking good. And, the Pacific nations, they need a strong Tonga. They've always been strong. I mean, highlights of the 2011 World Cup, they were strong. They actually intimidated the French French were shaking in the boots in the 2011 World Cup, the game they played there in Wellington, and then they ended up making the World Cup final. So go figure, right? But yeah, USA getting a big win, 36-17. They're actually looking quite strong, the US team. They've definitely done a lot of work. They've gotten stronger, and they know that the next World Cup, not this one obviously not the one in Australia, but the one after is in the USA. So I think they're building for that next World Cup, which is going to be great. I really hope that they'll be able to make the round of 16 or even the quarterfinals in that World Cup. It'll be amazing. Now, halftime score is 19-7 to USA. USA got a red card as well. I believe it was a 20-minute one as well. Final score 36-17. Tries from Ruben De Haas, Dominic Bissag, AJ McGinty, Jason Dam, and Jack Iscaro. Now, for Tonga, tries for Petuli Paya, Siaosi Ngingini, Lotima Whainga Anuku. So they got good players. That's the thing. They got, Whainga Anuku. He's played at very, very high levels, around the world. It's just not translating onto the field. Not playing as a team. If you watch their games or even the highlights, you can see that. And I hope they get stronger. I hope they build for this next Pacific Championship. And then the next game, so I'm kind of ranking them, from probably the most important game for world rankings and also that sort of thing to kind of the least, and who will most likely be in the World Cups as well. So Romania beat Canada 35-27. They've had a few close games. I think Romania played in Canada, 2 tests earlier this year, and they split it. So I think Canada won 1 and Romania won 1. So interesting to see. Romania is definitely better at home. So good to see them actually getting a W there in Bucharest, 35-27. I was thinking a bit more of maybe a little bit of a bigger win. I think I put them for about 10 points. Even the USA one, I thought it'll be much closer. I think I said USA by about 7. For my tipping, I put Fiji to win by 14 exactly. So I got that one right. You got Japan, Uruguay. I think I said Japan by 30, forgetting that they're not going to play their top team. With Italy and Georgia, I got this one right as well. I put Italy by 3. So I've been lucky a few games this round, actually. Scotland, Portugal, I think I said Scotland by 20. So I was quite off with that one. And Australia, I said Australia by 13. So way off of that as well. It's leading. You're going to have to think South Africa is going to pump Wales. It's really what you're going to think. Fresher legs. The team they put on is a very attacking team, and they got a ton of experience still with the bomb squad coming on. So 6-2 split as well. So it doesn't seem fun for the Welsh. The next result was also Netherlands beating Chile. That was a big win. I was not expecting that. I don't think many people were. I thought Chile will pump them. I thought Chile will beat them by 20, 30. I was really thinking the way they've been playing. But, the weather was not the best. It was super cold in Netherlands, near 0 degrees. So Chile is not used to that weather. So the home game really, really helped Netherlands there. Next one was Hong Kong versus Brazil. Bit of payback for the Hong Kongians, who lost last week against Brazil, 23-10, now beating them 38-17. At halftime, I was thinking, this can go either way. I watched a bit of the extended game. These games interest me because it's the Hong Kong pretty much has a chance to make the World Cup. This is their best chance to make the World Cup ever. They got whoever wins that tournament they've won for the last 4 years gets straight in. So, they're going to be nailed in. They know this is important. And then countries like UAE are chasing them and Korea. But yeah, good win there, 38-17. It still could have gone either way. They only pulled away late in the game. But tries to Jack Lamb, Guy Spanton, and Matthew Worley. 2 tries. And then for Brazil, Theo Bastardi, Kleber Diaz da Silva, and Henrique Ferreira getting the tries. So that was played at Hong Kong Sports Ground. The last one was at the Hong Kong Rugby Club. Now, we're getting into the smaller games now. So this was played in Korea at Incheon. So Korea versus Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe really aiming to get either straight into the World Cup by winning the Africa Cup or coming second and being able to get a second chance. Korea doing the same. So the top two, so the winner of the Asia Cup makes Australia World Cup. Second place plays off against the runner-up of Africa to see who makes it into that last pool for the last spot in the World Cup. So it is important. This could be a rematch of that. But UAE might have something else to say about that. So 17-10 at halftime. Zimbabwe ended up winning 27-22 yet again. I was not expecting a close game. I thought Zimbabwe would win by, 15, 16 maybe, not just 5. So well done to Korea for sticking it in there. Maybe home game yet again has something to do with it, but we'll see. Next one, UAE versus Germany. So very good game here. 26-20, a red card to UAE. 14-10 at halftime to Germany. And to the UAE, Saki Usa, Natisau, 2 tries. For Germany, Marcel Hen, Wolfram Hacker, and Felix Lammers with 2 tries. So, 2 tries to 4. So Germany, I think, well-deserved winners in the end. Winning 26-20 in Dubai at the 7 Stadium. So what a big stadium to play in. It's a good win for Germany. That'll push them up. And then you got Kenya against Uganda. And Kenya just beat Uganda actually 27-25 in Kenya. But, beating Uganda by a bit more in Uganda. So that's surprising. You'd expect it to be a bit closer. But these are the sort of games that interest me. It really does for some reason. I love that about rugby, that is growing. The sport's growing all around the world, and these smaller teams are becoming better and better now that they're getting a chance to make the World Cup. So let's have a look at the bigger rankings here. Let's see. Show full table. The women's one's on the left there too if you want to watch that. So you got Wales at 11 now. Ooh. It's not looking any better either. So, if Georgia wins their next game, they're going to overtake Wales. Georgia will become 11th. Japan will possibly drop here if Samoa has a game this weekend and they win. Or if Japan loses, they might drop down as well. So Japan 13th, 14th Samoa. USA 15th. Very close to Portugal in 16th. Spain 17th. Uruguay. Tonga and Romania, who rounds out at 20th. Tonga is really dropping, It's not. I don't think I've ever seen them this low, to be honest. I don't think I ever have. So it's quite sad that they're this low. We've probably never seen Wales this low either. So a couple nations who have really dropped. Hopefully they're building for the World Cup though. Chile in at 21, Hong Kong in at 22, Canada 23, Netherlands 24, Russia 25, Namibia, Zimbabwe, Brazil, Belgium, and Switzerland close off all the way through to 30. So interesting there. And then a couple other countries just who played this weekend is Germany, Sweden won as well, Kenya, who won, Korea down to 35. Interesting to see these teams, Morocco, Lithuania, UAE, wow, all the way 52nd. Ukraine. And I didn't even realize this many countries actually played rugby internationally. 113 countries, that is crazy. So well done. Hopefully all these teams get a go. Be interesting to see the World Cup. So let me know if you've seen any of these results, which results surprised you the most, and which game did you look forward to the most out of those smaller games. Like I said, for me, it was Italy and Georgia. Very big game for me. I was really keen to see the result, and even Spain, Fiji, that was another good game. But yeah, Italy, Georgia, to really see who's that 6th best team in Europe. And Italy just scraped through. So yeah, I guess they proved it, keep them in the Six Nations. But Georgia, you got to take these chances when you can get it. You got to take it, especially up by 11 points at halftime. You could have really made a statement and said, we deserve to be in the top leagues from now on if they got that statement win so close. And, I'm hoping these Georgian club teams can somehow maybe join the URC or something like that. I think that'll be super cool if they could do that instead of just playing in the European Championships. But that's a conversation for another day. Let me know what you think. Let me know your results. Like the videos if you do like them. And if you want to see future videos, please subscribe. We'll be able to see future videos together. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.